Gleb Alexandrov here for CreativeShrimp.com, the place where artists learn the tips and tricks about computer graphics, arts, and coffee brewing. Welcome to another episode of the Ask Gleb podcast. You ask your questions using the Ask Gleb hashtag on Twitter and I answer them. I record the podcast for you guys. Ashok Pokhrel asks, I just want to know about your journey, your dreams as a student, and your plans ahead. That's a great question, because my dreams haven't changed a bit since I was a kid. Since I was 14 years old, for example, I wanted to create a weird graphics and to share it with you guys. And I still want to do it, because that's my life. If we step back for a moment, I think that when I was a 7 years old guy, I still wanted to do the same thing. Since I've seen the Doom, I was shocked and very much impressed by the 3D graphics. I know it was a technically 2.D graphics, but anyway, and I instantly knew that I want to do the same kind of stuff. I want to do computer graphics. So if we speak about my dreams follow me through the whole life. If we step back for a moment even further, when I was 3 years old, I want to become a rock musician. Oh, okay, but that's a whole another story to tell. The second part of this question is my journey. If you are here and your dreams are here, the whole life is a journey to your dreams. And it's not a straight line usually. I borrowed this from a Casey Neistat blog. Your journey is more like this thing. So you don't go in a straight line. First, you do something completely unrelated. So you think, like I was a cameraman for a few years, and then you do something like, I was a 3D modeler in a game studio. But all these seemingly unrelated things brought me closer to my ultimate goal, to creating computer graphics, to creating what I really want to do and share it with the world. All these things bring you a little bit closer to your goal, to the place where you want to be. As Steve Jobs said, you can't connect these dots, only afterwards. Only looking backwards you can connect these dots, but I trust that everything brings me closer to my goal. It's like swinging a rope, not a straight line, but a jagged line, which eventually, hopefully, will bring me to my ultimate goal. And I will break that door and move further along. And I still want to become a rock musician, play rock and roll, but regarding my future plans, I'll continue doing what I do because I really love it. I wake up, I do what I want for the whole day, and then I go to sleep. And that's what I call very exciting, very interesting life. And I'm really lucky to have you around so I can share the content with you and hopefully make your lives better too. Because, as I say, drink more coffee and we'll change the world of computer graphics and all that stuff. We nerds of the world will conquer this world. Something along these lines. And another part of the story is the 10,000 hours. Malcolm Gladwell said that everyone could master anything, could become a world-class professional in any kind of job or whatever if you just spend 10,000 hours practicing this thing. And of course, if we talk about entrepreneurs or rock and roll singers, it's a slightly different kind of story, because it's not only the sheer effort, the sheer craft, but also a bit of luck, a bit of forward thinking and thinking outside the box to find a shortcut, or rather a smart cut, take your business in unexpected direction, all this stuff. But still, 10,000 hours is relevant to what we do. As long as I'm productively spending my time and working through these 10,000 hours, I think I'm good to go. And I think you'll be good to go too. Come on, Sid Vicious from Sex Pistols barely knew how to play bass guitar, and he became a world-famous guy. I have this fancy notebook. It is a pin-up notebook. I won't show you what is it like. The second question. Mason Menzies asks, Creative Shrimp is your form of income, yes? Do you have sponsors, or do you stay afloat with the products you have? Mason, that's a great question. Thanks for asking this. And of course, I have realistic lighting in Blender. This thing really keeping me afloat because this is a game changer for me. It is my first product ever, and before that I was doing some freelance jobs like modeling jobs or complete ninja style visualization of a project or animations for various projects too. And of course I was also being published in the magazines like 3D Artist and in other magazines, and occasionally some people publish my works in books, and many things along these lines happen too. But as I've said, the realistic lighting in Blender, the first product I ever produced, is a real game changer. I'm super lucky to have people around that support me and that are interested in what I do with this creative shrimp sort of thing, and I'm insanely happy and grateful for this. Thanks so much, guys. You are the best. You're awesome, super awesome. I always wanted to create a sort of a passive income. I think that is the way to go. Not freelance, not some kind of a full-time job, but the passive income that you create that helps you to sustain your business, and that helps you to produce more free content, because that's a paradox. To produce free stuff, you should have some kind of underlying money going on so you could produce the free stuff. I find it exciting. And if you think about this new stuff like Patreon and crowdfunding, you still need to have the core audience that will be willing to support your projects. And after you have some people around that are interested in what you do, the rest is the numbers. For example, if you have 1,000 people visiting your website and the 1% of these people are happy to buy something from you or to support you on Patreon by giving you just $1 or $5 or something along these lines, you're good to go. Because when influencers like Bart from Blender Nation just post your work on Blender Nation and people come to your blog or whatever, some percent of these people will convert, and this is a game of numbers. And also I think that it's crucial to make your voice heard, because everything that relates to passive income, that relates to sustaining the business, it relates to publicity nowadays, because everyone is a media company. Everyone, you, me, Blender Foundation, and we are successful as long as we are popular. And I can only imagine what happens if some big guys like New York Times or Guardian or I don't know, Andrew Kramer from Video Copilot, if he just tweets about you, it will be a surge of traffic, surge of popularity, and it will essentially convert into new subscribers. Subscribers will help to keep you afloat. Check out the Kevin Kelly's article in which he shifted the paradigm, shifted the whole thing, and the world won't be the same, he thought. And indeed, what Kevin said, that you can make a living if you have just 1,000 true fans that are willing to support your projects. Just 1,000. Think about it. It's a kind of a long tail of internet communication. To apply a little bit of self-awareness to this blog, I hope, Mason, that you will become a true fan for what I do, and I promise that I will subscribe to what you post on YouTube, because I think that you will be a huge hit, that your pictures, your renders, I enjoy it so much. And actually I want to do a plug. Everyone just check out what Mason does, because he does amazing things and he will be hugely successful. He needs 1,000 true fans. Let's do it, guys. Antho Korea asks how to create an infinite world in 3D in Blender, use displacement and not crash Blender. I would like to know it too. I hope that micro polygonal displacement that will be available in Blender 2.68 will help us to achieve this goal, because it will just dice the geometry and do it adaptively, do it kind of a level of details. Geometry is subdivided more the closer it is to the camera. Let's wait for this micro polygonal displacement. At least we will be able to get lunar landscapes, mountains and all sorts of that stuff that depends on displacing geometry in the shader. I hope it will be a huge deal. Zoltan asks, what books or literature would you recommend reading to get more in-depth knowledge of CGI and visual arts? Today is a day of the great questions, guys. First of all, I would recommend to read books about lighting. Of course, I would recommend it because I'm a lighting nerd. Read Light, Science and Magic. That's an impeccable book to get a better understanding of how light works. And another book that I would recommend is Direction and Quality of Light by Neil van Niekerk. That's another book which will help you to develop the mindset of a photographer. And I think that's crucial to think outside the box of this three-point lighting for CGI rendering. Think as a photographer, paint with light. That's how I deal with this, and that's what I recommend you doing too, so try this out. Another awesome book is Color and Light by James Gurney. It's a theoretical book on relationships between color and light for painters, and I would recommend you to read it. If you want to step back even further, another one for the theoretical understanding of visual is How to Use Your Eyes by James Elkins. Using this book, you learn how to look at things and how to see things, because looking and seeing is an activity. It's not just a passive reception, it's a work. So I'd recommend read this book. James Elkins, How to Use Your Eyes. And here I want to change the perspective and mention the book by Austin Kleon, which is called Still Like an Artist. And I can't stop recommending this book to anyone in every podcast. It's a truly liberating read for those of us who want to create anything, because this book is a medicine for people who think that they create original stuff. Nothing is original. In 21st century, we just compile things, and we shouldn't blame ourselves for doing it. And you will be liberated from this trauma of seeming originality. How should I call it? And of course, the books about productivity. Okay, and if I had to recommend just one book to you guys, it would be this, The One Thing by Gary Keller. If you feel like a rock star, you can read Simulacra and Simulations by John Baudrillard. That's a contemporary philosophy. It will really enrich your understanding of how things work in CGI, in Matrix, so you call it. Okay, and here's my personal favorite, completely unrelated to anything that we are interested in. It's called House of Leaves by Mark Danilevsky. It's kind of narratives intertwined that form a meta-narrative in the horror genre. It's much better than Stephen King. Sorry, Stephen. It's a pseudo-documentary about the vast spaces of darkness that appear unexpectedly. So read it. Read Mark Danilevsky, House of Leaves. I claim that this is the future of the horror fiction. Daniel asks, how many cups of coffee it takes to edit your video tutorials? Come on, Daniel, it takes just one. It's a huge cup of coffee. Just one. Thank you guys for your questions. You can ask more questions using AskGleb hashtag on Twitter. And I'm looking forward to the next bunch of questions. That was Gleb Alexandrov for CreativeShrimp.com. Drink more coffee and we'll change the world of computer graphics. Tips and tricks about computer hours